Welcome back to Talkin Shop with ShopSabre. I'm Brandon, back with the gang. They're in a mood today. They're a little riled up. I got Nick, I got Travis, I got Chad, Kai, and Jose over in the corner. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise. We talked about that in an episode.
We did.
Everybody assumes that means it's a negative thing. It's not negative.
Kind of like living the
Not in my
dream.
world.
Living the dream. Another one. All good ones. Yeah, what did we talk about last week? I don't even remember now.
Nothing.
Controllers.
We
We
weren't
did
here
one
last week.
Yeah, the last
2 weeks
one.
ago.
2 weeks ago. Good call.
Controllers.
Controllers.
I learned a lot.
Yes, you did. You did a lot of talking. There was a lot of talking.
Last week you learned a lot?
Yeah, from you guys.
Last week we didn't do one.
You're
Oh, gotcha again. You just called me out, and then you literally got called out for the same thing. Well played, Chad.
You're welcome.
This is why we're best friends.
That's weird.
It's not because we do karate in the garage.
I was going to make a comment, so I'm glad you did first.
Yeah, no. What'd you guys do for the 4th? Anything fun?
Shot a couple fireworks.
Yeah, right. A couple. You literally started a world war in your neighborhood with your neighbors.
You're right. And I still want to go buy one of those things and set it off just because.
I'm not even in the same town as you, and I got to read about the online dispute.
Oh, yeah. And then I just happened to pull in the driveway the other night after work and got home, and she was walking by with her dog. And all I got is the bird as she walked by.
Oh,
Wouldn't even, didn't look towards me or nothing. Just held her hand out. One of these walking by.
Nick went and bought a ton of fireworks. Let's put it that way, okay? He sent me a message almost every day for a solid 2 weeks.
I did go 3 times.
Of him showing me off fireworks, and he had so many. He had enough fireworks. The lady at the fireworks place knew who he was and asked if he was going to be back.
She said, last time you said you weren't coming back again, and here you are again. I'm like, there won't be a 4th time because tomorrow's the 4th.
Yeah, so he ended up with a bunch of fireworks. Nevertheless, he fired them off. Not even like super late.
No, we were done by 10:30 every night.
Yeah.
We were being nice about it.
Yeah, and then somebody posted online about Nick, and they were
I
saying
took
that
a
he
picture
needed.
of this giant roll of firecrackers that an old neighbor friend of mine that passed away used to buy one every year and just light it off and giggle at it for 5 straight minutes because it was a roll of 10,000 firecrackers. So I posted a picture saying, "Hey, I remember this guy always liking these things," and somebody just turned it into something else, and it was.
Got really mad. They don't even live in the same neighborhood as you. They're like the neighborhood behind you.
I probably couldn't even hit a golf ball to their house. They're that far away,
and
they were mad.
This person wanted Nick to run it by the neighborhood before he fires off his fireworks,
Oh,
and
Lord.
so
That's funny.
it was comedy gold. I got to just sit from afar and be amused. But you fired off a bunch of fireworks.
We did. Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah.
Well, the kids did.
Yeah, kids enjoyed
They
it.
saved all their hands.
That's
their
good.
fingers
Say
were
everybody
good.
came back with all their digits. That's
Yep.
cool. What'd you guys do? Anything fun on the 4th?
Went out on the boat, hung her out around the house, went swimming. We didn't make it to get fireworks, but ironically, we went to a Taco Bell. And one of the guys that was there just told us a story about how he got the cops called on him because he was lighting fireworks. He's working there. He was lighting up fireworks in the Northfield parking lot. And so he had extra ones that he was planning on blowing off. And since he felt bad for us, he gave us bottle rockets. So we actually got bottle rockets. My kid's sitting
I
there
like that
hanging
it
on to
started with, I went to a Taco Bell.
I thought it was going a totally different direction.
You and I both know the bottle rockets have been fired out of that Taco Bell's drive-thru several times at whatever restaurant is next door. You realize that, right?
Well, I'm sure.
I'm guaranteeing that was it. It was bottle rocket wars between whatever restaurant's next to Taco Bell.
Yeah, dude was all pissed off saying that somebody in the drive-thru called him in.
Yeah, just firing bottle rockets out of the drive-thru.
Because the GM called us and said the cops got a hold of them and said we're not allowed to do it anymore. I'm like, dude, you're lucky you even have a job.
See, I told you. I knew I wasn't far off in my assumption there.
Yeah, we got free bottle rockets. Didn't have to go to Wisconsin.
The only reason I know that is I worked at an Arby's when I was younger. And I know what things happen when you're a teenager in a drive-thru. So,
This guy was in his 40s.
oh, well, you know what? He was still having fun. Chad, what'd you do?
I watched the Bloomington fireworks from my driveway.
Did you?
Oh yeah, it was perfect.
That's
Didn't
nice.
have to go anywhere.
Did you ooh and ah?
No.
You didn't go ooh.
And I didn't take any videos or pictures or anything. I just sat there on the garage or on the driveway and
Yeah,
basically watched those go off.
that's cool.
It was all right.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, you got to had a pretty good view there from your
It's better than I thought. We've always gone down there. I've never stayed at home during them. So
Oh, really?
I didn't realize that I never have to go down there again.
You realize that we've been sitting in traffic all these years for no reason.
It's really leaving because everyone goes at different times, but everyone leaves at the exact same time. And so getting there is never an issue. It's always when you try to leave.
Correct.
You're stuck in traffic for a half hour.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We went to the fireworks, and I have obviously 2 kids, 2 boys, and they wanted to obviously have front and center seats for that. So I went front and center, and I found an escape route before that was over, and I was able to get on the road before the traffic got crazy. But yeah, that's my big thing too, is I hate sitting in traffic at the end of the event. I don't mind like getting there and all that, but when something's done, like I just want to go home. I don't want to have to sit there and sit in line.
It's hard with fireworks because the grand finale, you never want to leave before that.
You can't leave the grand finale.
But then everybody picks up to leave right after it's
Oh,
done.
yeah, for sure. Grand finale. You can't skip the grand finale. I feel like what's the point of going if you're not going to see the grand finale?
Yeah. They're the same every year.
It's grand finale, bro. How do you know, though? How do you know it's going to be the same?
It's going to be very similar.
We're going to blow off everything that we didn't blow off before, and it's going to be really loud and annoying. No, that's awesome. So that everybody had a safe and enjoyable 4th of July. Looks like we took some time off. And
Some are continuing to do it.
some are continuing to do it.
Like half of the people here.
Travis.
I think we have the same days off, sir.
That doesn't count.
Where are you guys going?
ShopSabre.com.
That's where I'm going.
Where are you guys going? That's great.
So like some romantic cruise we're unaware of?
Yeah. Together. I'm going as far away as I can.
Travis is going to co-pilot your car, isn't he?
No, he's not. No.
I bet he is.
Absolutely not.
Shoddy.
Shoddy.
He's going to ride on your lap.
Definitely not enough room there. Definitely not enough room there in the race car. No, yeah. We do have a few of us that'll be gone at the end of this week, but
That was just a joke.
I know. Preparing for the AWFS show is what we're doing. So got that coming up, right?
3
2
out of
weeks?
4 of us will be there.
Is that 3 out of 4 of us will be there? Yeah.
I don't think Nick's going, is he?
Wah, wah. Oh, wait, I have a button for that. I don't have to do that noise in my mouth. Hold on a second. I don't know where it is. Wah, wah, wah. So much easier. Yeah, no, that's true. Nick's
If
gonna...
you took me to Vegas, I probably wouldn't come back. I love Vegas.
Shut up a minute.
I've only
You
been,
actually like going there?
Yeah, I love it.
Really?
Yeah, Vegas is awesome.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to leave.
I've never been.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm not a huge Vegas guy. Like, I don't know. I used to be, when I was younger, I liked Vegas a little bit more, but now it's just like, especially I guess for me, it's always been about work. I've only been there one time, not for work. Otherwise, every time it's always been to go down to shows. And it's just like, it's such a busy week and there's so much going on. And for me, it's just like, I can't wait for it to be over kind of a deal, because it gets just overwhelming.
I can see that if it's for work, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
and there's a lot going on down there. I mean, it's the town that never sleeps, or the city that never sleeps, I think is what they call it. But it's just, there's always people everywhere. And I'm not a people guy. Like, I don't like large crowds if I don't have to be around them.
I went there one time and I was ready to go after 2 days. Like Sunday, I was ready to. I was done with it.
But the buffets, man.
Dude,
the breakfast buffet.
that's the only thing I'm excited about right
so
now.
good.
The food everywhere we went
They're
was
so
really
such
good.
good food, yeah.
We went to some old restaurant down like Fremont Street. It was
Fremont's awesome.
The best breakfast ever.
I love
Oh,
Fremont.
you're about to have the best breakfast ever. You've never even experienced it. I'll take you to the buffet of your lifetime.
I've been to that one. We did that too.
You went to that?
It's like 3
The
miles
Wynn
long.
Yeah.
with all like the different
Yeah.
sections. Oh yeah, I've done that. It was like $75.
It's too
Worth
much.
every penny.
It's worth every penny, though. It's so great.
That's why I made the comment. They better have prime rib,
Don't worry, Travis is paying.
and they had prime rib.
You're going to White Castle then.
No.
Screw that. You're getting McDonald's.
McDonald's is actually expensive down there. It's
Just
really
go to
expensive.
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out Burger, I will go there once because I love their burgers. I will go there. But, yeah, I know we talked, like I said, a little bit last week about controllers, and this week I want to talk a little bit about not being a spectator or stop being a spectator. And it kind of came up from an interesting discussion, Nick, that you and I were having. You just finished, your first season coaching
Yep.
ever? Is that ever? Is that right?
Yeah, ever. Yep.
You've never coached anything till this year, right?
I helped some coaches with my daughter's softball team, but this
Okay.
was the first time being the coach.
So you were the chest club coach, or is that right? Is that what you were this year?
T-ball.
T-ball. I'm sorry, wrong sport.
Chess club, T-ball, same thing.
No, yeah, you coached T-ball this year.
Yep.
I knew that just for the record. I was just
Yeah.
messing with you. But you had some parents that were kind of critical, if you will, right? There's some. Why don't you tell your story?
I'm not sure it was necessarily critical. It was more just like parents that had always something to say but would never help.
Yeah.
Like they want to sit back and tell you how to do everything for their kid to help their kid be better, but not help any other kids. And they wouldn't get up and help. There was obviously a couple parents that helped and jumped in and tried to wrangle a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds running around. I mean, you're out there more to make sure they have fun, right? And want to keep doing it.
What's the one thing I told you about being a coach?
Make it fun so they want to come back.
That's what I said. At this age, nothing else matters except for the fact that they want to come back and do it again next year. Like at that age, nobody's going to remember it when they were 5 years old in T-ball that they didn't do something right. I'm sorry, but no scout is going to come up to them when they're 18 and be like, would have drafted him, but in T-ball, he missed the ball once. Like, nobody cares.
And they're not going to remember that either. They're going to remember if you come down on them for something silly and don't make it. Like, you can still teach them things and still have fun with
Correct.
it. Like, you don't need to
Absolutely
act like they're going to the pros as a 5-year-old.
Well, and that, for me, I coach hockey, and hockey is a really, competitive sport. And honestly, kids start skating when they're 4 years old, and by the time they're 8, they're in every camp that you can think of. And it is, parents acting like their kid's going to the NHL already, and they're 8 years old. And I'm one of those parents that I'm not that guy. I don't care if my kid tomorrow wants to quit playing hockey. He's very, very talented at it. But if tomorrow he told me, Dad, I'm not having fun, we're going to quit. Like, it's too expensive of a sport to do it. And we're not going to do it if he's not enjoying it. And I've been that way with my kids on anything. I'll make them finish it out. I always say that. Like, if you signed up, you're going to finish it out. You don't have a choice there. But at the end of the season, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But for me to coach, the only reason I coach is because I love the sport. Like, I don't coach for any other reason than I love the sport so much, and I want to pass that passion on to somebody else. And there's kids that come out there, and I love coaching the beginning age level, because my kids get into the level now where it's really about the game, and it's about winning, and it's about a lot of that. And my youngest son, though, is at the age where it's like, I hope you can stand up today on your skates. Like, that's the age I love. Yeah. Because unfortunately, just recently, actually, one of the kids that I coach passed away unexpectedly. And I got to talk to his parents a little bit at his funeral. And his mom and dad told me that, like, that season that he played on my team was the most fun he's ever had, and he really enjoyed coming, and that's what made him want to come back. And that, to me, is like why I do it. It's more about making sure the kid wants to come back and play, because you're not going to have the future generations of the sport if they don't enjoy it the first year. They're just going to all stop playing, right? I mean, it doesn't do them any good to yell at them and tell them they didn't hit the ball far enough or didn't score a goal or whatever. Like, they just got to have fun. And so, like you said, you get the parents that are super critical of their kid, and it's like, dude, they're 5 and 6. If they're out there having fun and they got their shoes on the right feet, I'm happy. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care.
Yep.
And I think it's funny that so many people are willing to be critical of people, though, and they judge them. And then it made me start thinking about business. And that's where this goes today, is that we're not going to talk about T-ball all day long, I promise. But really what it's about is your life and your business. And, you have employees. We have employees here at ShopSabre. And, obviously our employees all play a role in our business. And I think about the businesses that are out there and the people, who have their own employees. And whether you're a 1 or 2 man shop or you're a 100-man shop, you have people that you depend on. But I ask simply is, do you have employees or processes in your business that could be considered a spectator, and not a contributor necessarily to your business? And that made me think, how much better would the world be, or how much better could somebody's business be if everyone was a contributor, guys? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think the world would be a lot better place if everyone contributed and stopped just standing off on the sideline giving opinions when opinions don't really mean much. Action does. Yeah.
I mean, the reality is an opinion is nothing more than just, uneducated thought, in my opinion. Like, again, going back to me, opinion, right? My opinion, it doesn't matter to you. Mm-hmm. It's just my opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean it's right. But I think so many people think their opinion is concrete. Yep. Like, that's the way it is. Like, I can't believe you don't believe that. I don't care. Like, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. And if what I say isn't what you believe, that's fine too. Like, it is what it is. But I believe within a lot of businesses and people's lives, we spend way too much time caring what other people think in regards to the way you do and operate things.
I agree.
And one person, that's what I've learned is one person can really wreck a really good thing for a lot of great people, because you try to cater to every person's opinion, and one person's opinion is just a bad attitude. Some people you'll never make happy. I mean, I think there's so many business owners out there that fail to think about that there are some customers that will find the negative in everything and anything, and they will not give you the opportunity to be a 5-star business. They don't want to see you succeed. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. There are customers of yours who don't want to see you be successful.
I mean, I think we see that a lot. I mean, just us in general as a company. I mean, you see people that send emails or calls or whatever that have an issue with something, and you bend over backwards and try to fix it for them or help them or give them resources to fix it, and they still don't want to even use those resources to fix it.
Yeah, I don't know that I would consider that a lot. I think when you look at the overall group of customers that we have a really good group of customers, and I don't think we see a ton of that. But Nick sees more of it, I think, than anybody, because that's his job. He sees that stuff, so it's easy to say he sees it more frequently because that is what your job is to handle those situations. But a lot of times, for me, I found that, like you said, in any business, you could do anything to help a customer, and they will find the one thing you didn't do. Yeah. And I think a lot of businesses need to realize that the statement, "the customer is always right," was made up by a marketing group. Like, I don't think people realize that. Like, it wasn't it was made up by a marketing group to sell things, to make it a customer feel valued so they buy from you. It wasn't actually a statement that was meant to be bend over and do everything you can for your customers, and don't, oh my God, if you're not carrying the load, then you're in trouble. No, sometimes your customers, they want to see you fail. Sometimes your customer isn't looking out for the best interest of your company. They're looking out for themselves, which that's fine. They have every right to do that. But because the way you run your cabinet company, because the material you chose to use isn't what they would use, doesn't necessarily make what you're doing wrong. I mean, yeah, okay, your cabinets are heavier than what they'd like. I've heard it. Guys say, "Oh, I can't believe they use 1/2-inch, backs on their cabinets. They could use 1/4-inch." Okay, well, they did it for their own reasoning. And because you want to use 1/4-inch doesn't mean you can't. But doesn't mean that guy building it with a 1/2-inch back is wrong.
I mean, he's deemed that as a successful way to do his stuff and run his company, right? So
correct.
That's right. What's right for him might not be right for you, but that's what he wants to do. Let him do it.
Maybe he just likes to make his stuff a little more durable.
Yeah, and vice versa. I mean, sometimes there's guys that do put smaller backs on their cabinets, and instantly people think that makes their cabinet worse. Like, in certain applications, I don't know. I'm not a cabinet guy. I'm gonna be honest. I see customers building with 1/4s, 1/2s, 3/4s, and you know what? They all look like cabinets when they're done. Yeah. And they all hang on the wall, and maybe one's not going to be as sturdy or strong, and that's fine if you know that up front, right? Like, I have a few cabinets in my house that don't hold much weight at all. Like, I don't put anything in those cabinets. It doesn't matter how sturdy you made that cabinet. It's not going to fall down because what it's holding up is not much weight. I'm not hanging and doing pull-ups from it. Now, the cabinets in my kids' bedrooms, those probably should be a little bit more durable. Those kids do literally try to hang from them sometimes. There's a difference in what the cabinet's purpose is. So it doesn't mean
specific.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't mean that just because you build your product a different way or use a different finish or whatever you're doing is 100% wrong, right? There's certain things that are right for the application, and I think the same goes for CNC machines, right? You can buy cheaper machines, and there's different drive systems. I mean, we sell them, rack and pinion versus ball screw, right? Yep. They all exist for a reason. They're not all going to do the same thing. They're not all going to last the same. They're not all going to be, but that doesn't mean that just because they're building it that way that the machine's not going to work. And I think we've all said that. Day one, the machines are all going to work. Yep. It's the long-term play. What is your purpose of buying the machine? What are you doing with it? Will determine if it's built right or wrong for what you're doing. And I think that's where I go back to being a critic with no contribution, So, as we kind of look at that, my thoughts have always been anything worth doing is worth doing it to your full ability. That's just me personally. And I don't really half-ass anything or do anything half-ass. If I'm going to invest my time and my energy, I'm going to do it with everything I have until the product is to my satisfaction, right?
Yep.
And so that is just my way of doing it. So I'm always considered myself to be a contributor. If I'm going to cast judgment on you, if I'm going to say something negative, I'm generally going to try to also provide positive criticism, not negative. I'm not going to sit there and try to tarnish your business. I'm going to try to, hey, I didn't like this, but have you thought about it doing it another way? And I will be open to, well, yeah, but we don't do it that way because of this. Okay, cool. You know your business better than I do. That doesn't make my opinion right.
It's just a thought.
Yeah. And it's just like, I've had some recent issues with my vehicle that I own, and I'm finally getting it back today. And
I think Travis is next.
Travis is next. He is.
He's the only one
Yeah,
left.
but I've been out my bike for a month.
It's true.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Doesn't count still. It's only 2 wheels.
Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah, sorry, Kyle. You're next, I guess. No, but my point of stating that is some things went wrong with my vehicle, as you guys are all aware, that nobody can control. Part failed. But then when the vehicle got to the shop, they caused some damage to some components on my truck. And it would have been really easy, and I think there's a lot of people in this world that would have blown that out of proportion. Would have turned it into a big deal, went on the internet, just tried to, crucify them. Made it just this ridiculous situation. And I look at it from a business standpoint that, we're all businesses and we make mistakes. Like, I just straight up asked them to own it. Like, hey, you guys did it. You guys own up to it. As long as you take care of it and make me right at the end, like, there's no reason to be upset. I'm not even going to mention their name. I'm not using their name on purpose. Because I don't want anybody to take something and spin it and make that a negative for them. Because you know what? They did the right thing and they made it right. And yeah, I've been without my truck a little longer than maybe I had to be. But
And that wasn't their intention to
Correct.
do that either. Like, it wasn't good for the person that it happened to, you, the person that did it, or the company.
nobody won.
Nobody.
So me making a big deal out of it isn't going to make it better for anybody, right? It's just going to tarnish that relationship that I can have with them then. So it's like, and they've even said it to me openly. They've said it multiple times to me now. I can't believe how cool you've been with this. Like, what's sad is they have to say it because there's so many people that haven't been cool with it, Like, I'm like, yeah, stuff happens. Like, they made it right. And it goes back to being a contributor rather than just a critic. I could have easily cast judgment on them, but my contribution was, hey, you guys do this. What's your thoughts on this? Help me out. And they've taken care of me. I can't really get frustrated with them on that, So let's talk about that for a second. Really, as you start looking at it, nobody here gets by with being a spectator. I would say that's true, right? At ShopSabre?
Absolutely.
For sure.
So, nobody's allowed to be a critic unless they have contributed to our team in some way, right? At the end of the day, it's easy to judge someone else when you're not doing the work. So here at ShopSabre, kind of our rule has always been you're going to do the work, right? I believe the culture is very common here at ShopSabre that's just how it is. You're going to do your job and you're expected to do your job. And as long as you're doing your job, other people will probably help you if you ever need help. And so it kind of leads me to turn the question on our viewers and ask, what is happening in your business that could be considered critical thinking without contribution? As people think about their business, I want them to think about that right now. And for anybody trying to figure out what am I actually asking you, what is critical thinking? Let's talk about that for a second. Well, critical thinking is objective analysts that evaluate basically issues or orders that are going on in your business, right? So evaluation, of processes or people even, right? So maybe you're criticizing a person, you're analyzing their ability, their skills, their whatever they are in your business, or let's talk about pricing, right? Your pricing is too high, right? Maybe that's what your critics are saying, right? So you have to analyze that, right? And in order to pass a judgment on that is basically what you're analyzing everything. And many times, professors, teachers and whatnot struggle to encourage critical thinking amongst their own classrooms. Like, that is something that's very common. Because basically you need to analyze and evaluate the issue before you can form a judgment. But what's contribution then? If that's what critical thinking is, what is contribution? Contribution, this is part of that is played by a person or a thing, right? It's that bringing results or helping something advance is really what that is. And so thus the statement of critical thinking without contribution means the process, the thing, the person who does not play a part or help bring results or advancement, yet still forms an opinion or cast judgment in your business. Do you have people on your staff that do that? And I want people to think about that in their business right now. Like, do you have people within your organization, whether you're a 1 or 2 man shop, is it you, that are judging people or processes without contributing to the solution? It's easy to say, Jake doesn't work hard enough. Jake's the only one doing that job. Are you helping him do the job? Are you giving him the resources he needs? Is he set up for failure? Because that's the other thing. It's easy that, I'm going to point the finger back at ourselves. Years ago, we had a lot longer lead times, obviously, and we struggled to get certain, processes in place with parts ordering and making sure that we were maintaining production schedules, right? And it's super easy to blame the people, right? Oh, they're just not getting the work done. But if the vendor's not getting the parts on time, or if your system is not tracking the parts inventory enough and they run out and nobody ordered parts in time so the parts can't show up, is the person really to be blamed? No, it's the process, right? Yep. So that's why ShopSabre has invested so much energy and time into an ERP system. And we've built the company around tracking inventory, and we do inventory counts, regularly. And now we have people in place and processes in place that keep track of that. So now the person has the parts they need to do their job. So rather than being a critic and saying, you're not doing your job, we criticized ourselves and said, what are we not doing to make it possible for you to do your job? And so I would ask, the team here, how do you guys feel about the idea of critical thinking without contribution?
Not good for business.
Definitely not good for business.
I guess I'm just glad that nobody here is that way.
Yeah.
We've got a set way that everybody does things, and I think that's why everybody here within our business is so successful.
Yeah, I mean, and I can agree with that. I think that we have enough processes in place. That doesn't mean we're perfect. I mean, we all make mistakes, right? We're still humans. But we have processes in place that generally 9 out of 10 times, if somebody makes a mistake, gets caught before it ever becomes a problem. Yep. We do have checks and balances in place that help us analyze the data and analyze things before it becomes a huge issue later on.
Well, I think that's too why people enjoy coming to work here, because you have the proper processes in place for people to succeed at their job.
Yeah.
And if there is something that maybe you think can be fixed, everyone offers an opinion on how it can be done better instead of just saying, hey, it's wrong, somebody else fix it.
Well, how many people don't offer opinions because whenever they offer their opinion, it's either dismissed or argued? How many times does that happen in life where people they don't speak up because
all the time
they don't feel appreciated? Like, it doesn't matter what I say, they're not going to listen to me anyways.
Yep. 100%.
And that's how it was for me at the dealership. I'll be honest. Like, when I worked at the car dealership, that's how it was. Chad, your opinion on it?
I would never give them ideas on how we could, I guess it's different there because they already had process set up, and I didn't really care as much as I do about stuff here.
But my point being, is did you not care there because maybe even if you'd said something, their processes were their processes. They weren't going to do it.
Exactly. It was, this is the way it's done, and this is how we're doing it, and that's it.
That's how I've always felt the car industry too. When I worked there, that's why I stopped giving my opinion. Because when I was there, I was a lot younger, and so I was much more vocal. And I was willing to tell people, like, hey, this doesn't work. Like, we got to do something different here. This will make it better. And I got met with so many times just the red tape. This is how we've done it for 20 years. Okay, well, the world's different today. Like, consumers aren't what they are 20 years ago. Like, why are we doing it the same way? It's just the way it is. And it was always, just being met with this is how we do things. Okay, well, then I'm just not going to care anymore. And then I don't give my opinion anymore, and your business just continues to go down the same road.
Well, and it's funny, too, because when they wanted to make changes that would change our job, we would just always continue to do it the same way because F them,
yeah. Why change?
Why
right?
change? You're not going to change it for these things. Why would I change to help you do something different?
I have very little time to get to the gym, so I have to scope my guns at the office.
So it built a lot of that butting heads, which accomplishes nothing.
It builds a negative culture.
Exactly.
Because it's the top of the food chain versus the rest of us, right? How often in the car industry did you feel like you could really go to the top and actually be heard?
I don't think I ever went above my manager.
Yeah.
Ever. We would see the owner walk around every now and again, but I would never talk to him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't wave when.
Yeah, I was the same way. I remember being there. My manager was actually your cousin, and he and I got along really well. So I'd go to him with anything I had, but I never went past him. Like with anything, I saw, like you said, the regional manager, and you see the owner of the company, and they just always walked around like they were better than everybody. They didn't care about who you were.
Well,
Yep.
and how often working for those big corporations like that do people have ideas on how to do things better? And they play it off like it's a terrible idea. We're not going to do that. That's not how we do things. And then shortly thereafter, they're doing the same thing. Like it's their own idea and it's the
Yeah.
greatest thing ever. Like,
Well, that's the difference.
why
I
would
think.
you expect an employee to like want to come and work there if you're going to do
I've
that
worked
kind of
at
thing?
places like that. It was not enjoyable.
No.
And like you say, you have all these ideas that may be good ideas. You never wanted to say it because they just call you an idiot or just disregard what you had to say.
You had the mentality that you're just an employee number.
Correct.
Yeah.
'Cause
And I
that's
think
what I still remember all my employee numbers because that's all that
I was gonna
mattered.
say the
Was
same thing.
putting in my employee number, then watching what my employee number produced myself.
Yep.
And that's all I really cared about. And taking care of the customer because that ultimately affected my pay too. But like I wasn't looking out for the company.
Do you know that's how I got my extension here at ShopSabre?
This is your old employee number?
It was my old employee number when we were setting up the phone system, and the only number I could remember was my old employee number from when I worked at the car dealership. So I made my extension my employee number. So that's funny. Yeah, I just dropped a couple digits off it, but yeah, it's funny. But like you said, you get so set up with that employee number. Like, here's my thing, okay? Because obviously we have some accounting systems here, and believe it or not, everybody does have employee numbers here. Do you guys know your own employee numbers here?
No, I don't have my phone on me.
I was gonna
But
say,
you could look it up, obviously.
I think it's in our
It's on
app.
our page.
Yep.
It's
But-
on our page.
but you don't know it.
But we don't. Yeah, and we don't have to like.
You never
and-
have to use it.
And it's not for everybody. And I'm very thankful of this for our position. Is like I don't have to punch in and punch out.
Yeah.
Do like when I'm going to lunch. Like
Yeah,
just don't have that like
correct.
big brother tracking. you
No,
know.
I get you completely. And but the big thing for me, my point being is like, you're a person here. Like, you know who Jim is. He's gonna walk up. The old JB's gonna walk up and say,
I say hi to him every time I walk
Yeah.
by.
Same
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, almost every time you walk by him, you ask him if you can drive his car.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's but it's, I mean, that's the different feel, is that you feel like appreciated. You can actually talk to people and present your ideas. And how many times around here have you guys given ideas and it's actually something we do?
Correct.
A lot. And the one time that I mentioned something to him, like change happened. So.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is we try to hear out where we can get better, right? And that goes back to critical thinking and contribution, right? You guys have great thoughts. Like, you guys are criticizing what we're doing wrong and what we could be doing better, but you're also contributing. You're putting into the business and you're putting your time and your effort in. Well, it's a lot easier when Chad comes to, Chad puts in 80 hours in a week and then comes up and says, hey, I probably wouldn't have to put in 80 hours if we had done this differently. Hey, how can we help Chad there, right? We know he contributed to the business. So what can we do with this critical thinking? Okay, good news. He only has to work 79 next week.
He does that in the summer anyhow.
But no, but in seriousness, we try to work with each other on that. And, my thoughts are, if you're not critically thinking about your business or your job while you're contributing, you're simply not helping the company or the product advance. Like, you have to be thinking about what you guys could be doing better. It's okay to challenge the status quo. Like, you have to in some regard, but it's not okay to challenge things without a contribution to the solution. Just to say, like, my job's too hard. Well, what's hard about it, and how can we make it different? Not just be mad about it, or guys that, say, we have too much work to do. Okay, well, would you like the company to just stop having work? Like, I don't understand what your complaint is. Like, we need to understand what's the solution.
Make sure you get all sales in by 4:55. We can't control the time they come in.
Correct, exactly. Exactly. Like, they got to come in when they come in, right?
They'll come in at 5:04. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, I start to think about those things, and one thing you have to think about is in your shop, like as sign makers or cabinet makers, or anybody listening, is think about the people in your shop, and who do they complain about? Who do they, who's saying they're overworked or they're tired, or what is bugging them in your business? Start thinking about those things and analyzing what's their complaints. Are they tired of the way things are going, but you're not investing in solutions for them to solve maybe those problems or advance the business? Is that something that's going on in your business? Like, think about a fab shop, sign shops, cabinet shops, whatever, where you have a backlog in work per se, right? Maybe you don't have the space. Maybe you don't have people. You can't find the right people. How many times we've heard that, right? People can't find good employees. Yet they still aren't thinking about adding the CNC machine, but they have a backlog in work and they hear people complaining about that. Like, why have you not taken a step to owning your own machine at this point. If you're still sending stuff out to another shop, but you're complaining about your lead times, why are you not taking the time to analyze your own business and say, hey, we could be making more money today if we just owned our own machine? Yes, it's going to cost us some money up front, but your business is going to make more money with a CNC machine than it will make without it.
Amen.
Right? You cannot continue to push your team and your business and expect results if you're simply unwilling to contribute to the growth and the success by making some investments. Like, you need to get up with the times and get them the equipment and the technology they need. And I mean, a CNC machine it's not one of those things that's going away. It's going to be here for forever. And CNC machines are an investment in your business. They're something that will contribute to your critical situations. They cut lead times. Is that not a fact?
For sure.
They increase your profitability. Is that not a fact?
100%.
Absolutely.
And they take the strain off of other people or areas of your shop. Correct.
Correct.
Right? Again, if your employees cannot win, why would they want to contribute, guys?
They won't. They're going to be frustrated. And I got a call from a guy again this morning who said, Chad, I'm upset with you. I'm thinking, oh, man. Says, Chad, I'm upset with you. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm upset that it took me this long to do it. It was over like a year and a half I'd worked with the guy. And he finally did it. And this is probably 3 or 4 months now he's had it. And he said there's a little bit of a learning curve, but he cannot imagine not doing it without a CNC machine now.
Yeah. And, that's the worst part is I wish I could have all of those calls recorded because we get those calls a lot, actually.
We do.
People where they're like, I can't believe I didn't make this decision sooner. Like, how the heck did I get by for as long as I did? And what I think is funny is the shops that tell me they don't know that they need a CNC machine. They buy a CNC machine, and then they're calling me saying they think they might need a second.
Yep.
This guy hired a couple people, plus he's looking for more work. And while I was trying to sell him the machine, he was the hardest guy to get a hold of, pin down, talk to, because he had so many different things going on, so many different meetings. And this morning he just called me out of the blue to give me the good news and to chat. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And exactly. There's so many ways to find negatives in this world, right? And I think a lot of people are, they get into a situation where, again, they allow the critical thinkers without contribution to control them. Your customer says you have one bad customer, and they change the entire business because of that one bad customer and they hurt themselves.
Yep.
When sometimes it's just that's a bad customer. Let them walk. Let the bad customer walk. Not every customer is worth your time.
I mean, I think it goes back to kind of what we talked about before. Like, you know how to run your business properly. You've done it for so long the same way.
Correct.
And been successful. Overreacting and changing something just because of one unhappy person, like you said, is the wrong move.
Yeah. And I think, again, going back to critical thinking, like, listen to the people who are actually contributing to your business. If you have returning customers that keep coming back and they're good for your business and they're giving you some input, maybe those are the people that you want, right?
Right.
Not the first time guy who came to you yelling at you because he didn't get at the discount he wanted. He probably isn't your customer. But go to the guys who are, the guys and gals who come back to you and they contribute to your business, or your employees, your long-term employees.
Yep.
What are they telling you? The people who have been through thick and thin with you, the people who've grown with your business, where are they seeing the change needed? It's, again, when you have a new employee come in and they're upset about something, take a look at the source first. Are they really giving you facts? Or is it just they're the new one there and they don't like the way you do it, right? You have to look at the source. But I'm going to be willing to bet when you look at some of your processes, if there's a common denominator, you can usually find a solution.
Right.
And I bet if I think a lot of businesses are afraid to ask their employees their opinion. It's not something I've been afraid of ever. I'll pull you guys all in a room.
I'm not afraid to give you my opinion.
That is true. That is 100% true.
I think more businesses, though, would be much more profitable and have their employees stick around a lot longer if they would ask their opinion openly. I think every meeting we've had company-wide with our CEO, Jim, he always says at the end of the meetings, and if there's anything else that you guys have that you want to say to me, come find me anytime.
Yep.
And I could tell you personally, I would never be afraid to go and give him my opinion. I feel like a lot of times it's beneficial because he, like you said, he might not give you good feedback right away. Like, hey, this is why we don't do it that way. But at least somebody can get it off their chest and not feel like they have to bottle it up.
Well, my thing is sometimes I think people expect a solution too quickly. You gave me the problem. I don't have the answer immediately. Sometimes it takes time to come up with an answer or think about what you said and formulate an idea and then investigate it. Because again, is it one guy's opinion or is it really a problem? So you investigate that. Well, same thing with your business. If your lead times are backed up and every customer's complaining they can't get their product from you, it's probably not a one-time thing, right? You probably got a problem.
I look at it like planting the seed. If I didn't initially plant the seed to tell them,
Yeah.
the plant would have never grown. So,
Correct.
same thing with giving you an idea. If I never gave it to you, you might never think of it.
Yeah.
And even if you ignore it, it's still,
Well, how many times have I said I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room?
well, I'll be.
You can be the smartest guy in the room. But seriously, good ideas come from all walks of life. There are so many different departments. I mean, we've had people from all the different departments in this building come up with ideas that have helped propel this business. In cabinet shops, why wouldn't you be doing the same thing? Why wouldn't you be allowing your customers, your employees to cultivate ideas? I mean, I know for a fact there's got to be customers that are listening to this that their customer gave them an idea one time that turned into a moneymaker for them. I'll guarantee it.
Yep.
Somebody said something about if you did it this way, it would work. And then they, instead of just shutting it out, they went and looked at it. Oh, that's a good idea. Why don't I do it that way? Moneymaker. But there's also been plenty of people that have tried things that they probably should have just not listened to, that have hurt their business. I want you to think about how many businesses exist out there and they thought about adding a CNC machine. There was one guy in the shop that said, you don't need that CNC machine. And it was because he or she was afraid of their job, right? And that business, lead times hurt, profitability got hurt, everything got hurt, all because of one person in the business.
And all it was really going to do is make that person's job easier.
And that's the problem. But the world is, again, we live in a world where people hold on to knowledge rather than share it because they think it makes them more valuable. And the reality is the best trainer in the world is the most valuable person. The person who can help more people is the most valuable person you have in your company. Not the person who can do everything themselves. Because guess what? Eventually, someday, that person's going to get burnt out. Whether it's mentally burnt out, physically burnt out, or just simply their health, right?
Right.
Like they might one day just not be able to do the job anymore. And because they know it all, they're the wealth of all the knowledge, your business is the one that suffers.
Yep.
Because now you have to scramble and figure it all out anyways. So you might as well get processes in place that help you. So again, the last thing I want to do is have my, let's go back to Schmalz lifts, right? We bought a Schmalz lift here for our factory. And it's because the guy loading the CNC machine all day long, we don't want him wearing himself out, right? Can he lift those sheets by himself? Absolutely. He's been doing it, right? We have forklifts. We have plenty of things he could do. But we got a Schmalz lift because we wanted to improve the efficiency and not wear out the employee. It makes us more efficient because now the employee, I have less of a risk of that employee getting hurt for one. But two, if that employee decides to leave or something happens, I can replace him. I can put another person in that place that can, I don't have to find this extremely strong person that can carry this, right? Anybody can go into that and be trained.
Yep.
It gives me versatility as a business. Now, obviously, the person that currently does it, I don't want them to go anywhere, so I'm trying to make their job easier. But I'm also protecting the company in the way of that person is now trainable, right? That position is trainable for the next thing. Same with the CNC machine. If you buy a new CNC router today, right? If you go out and buy a ShopSabre Pro 408 to cut cabinets, you don't have to train a person how to become this precision cabinet maker. If your lead cabinet guy decides to leave, you have to teach a person how to run the program. That's a lot easier to do than teaching somebody how to become a woodworker.
Absolutely.
And how to become a good woodworker.
And they don't even really need to do that. They can send them to us.
Correct. And we'll do the training program for you. Exactly. We'll teach you how to run it. So you think about what that does to your business. It makes your business more stable.
Yep.
One person doesn't control your entire business. But guess what? Your good cabinet maker that you already have, their job just got easier because now the machine does the cutting and they still can use their craftsmen they can use their trade to do other things in your business while the easy, simple stuff is being done.
Yep.
They don't have to think about that stuff anymore.
The tedious stuff that they probably hated doing anyhow.
Correct. They don't want to sit there and cut 100 boxes out a
Yep.
month. They don't care to do that.
Yep.
If they're a really good cabinet maker, they'd rather do the stuff that they're good at, not the easy stuff.
Yep.
You don't have to lose that person's capabilities. You just simplify it. And again, you might have the best craftsman in the entire world in your business, but can you duplicate him or her?
And he's not going to outproduce a CNC machine.
No, simply won't. Maybe for an hour. I'll tell you that. After the hour, the CNC machine is not slowing down. And the rest of the week, it's not slowing down. And that's the difference, is that you can't outproduce the technology. The technology is going to make you more money. Simple as that. It's going to make you more money because it does the same work in less time. You've already charged for the job. The dollars you collected don't change. The dollars you put out the back door is what changes.
Yep.
So for me, it's time to contribute to your own long-term success. There's really no better time than now to consider investing in your business. And there's some great deals currently running on some really good CNC technology. I mean, we know that, our American-made products are affordable. They are accessible. The lead times are low as heck right now. We've invested a lot of money in making sure our lead times are low. We're dang near in stock. We're trying to get to that point for you. But right now we are, 2 to 6 weeks, guys?
2 to 6 weeks
on average?
most everything.
Yeah. Little as 2 weeks, you can have a CNC machine now. There's no excuse anymore that's valid of why you don't have the time to investigate your future.
And
Right?
we also have amazing financing opportunities as well for people that don't have the cash flow.
Yeah. I mean, the financing opportunities right now are really good too.
Yeah.
ShopSabre.com.
Go check it all out.
Geneva Capital.
Yeah, it's on our
Just
website.
kidding. I want to try it.
Go to ShopSabre, click on the financing tab. You can check it all out. Like, seriously, we have payment calculators and everything there. If you need to see it in person, you can visit us where, guys?
ShopSabre.com.
No. AWFS coming up. We're going to be in Las Vegas. It's right around the corner. End of July. We'll be last week of July. Booth number, 2701. You're going to find Chad, you're going to be there. Travis, you're there, right?
I'm there.
I'm going to be there. We're going to be showing off some American-made technology. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm really excited to be there and show off we got Pro 408 and IS 408 we're going to have on display. Super excited about that. And obviously, I mean, we just got done with the 4th of July. We just talked about we're shooting off fireworks, celebrating, right? Well, what were we celebrating?
Freedom.
Freedom, America, right? Why not buy American-made equipment? You have the opportunity to. I mean, why not support American-made technology? I mean, you're building your product here. You're building things. Your cabinets are made here in the U.S. Why wouldn't you want American equipment building those cabinets? That's what to me, that's a big thing is come see what American-made really looks like. Come to the show if you don't believe us. If you can't make it to the show, obviously call us here. We'll schedule a visit here at our facility. Will we not, guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, have you come by, see where they're built, how they're built. Come on by. Like I said, we want to show this stuff off. We enjoy it. It's something we really have spent a lot of time and energy in trying to, build a better product and give you something that truly enables you to be a better company.
I agree.
Did I miss anything there?
The machines come with awesome support.
Best support in the industry, hands down.
Lifetime support.
You don't have to worry about not knowing how to use it.
We got training with it. We got support as far as, if you get stuck on something, we troubleshoot it. We have so many things that we can do to make sure that you are able to use your new ShopSabre.
Sabre Nation University, training class, all that good stuff.
Yep. Nick, where's social media at now?
Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We got LinkedIn,
I had to look back at Kyle. He's like, Kyle, what else am I missing back here?
YouTube.
Yeah, we're still on the YouTubes.
That's where Kyle and Jose are putting all their cool videos they're making. They got a lot of cool stuff.
Yep.
I know we've been saying that for weeks and weeks, but their stuff just keeps rolling out. It's awesome.
Yep.
A lot of cool Meet the Staff videos.
You can go check out our other podcast now that we've launched too. We have a second podcast, which is a video podcast.
So you see Router Bob?
Yeah, Router Bob was on the last episode.
I think Ricky and Sons just went live today, they said.
Is that true? Is
Yeah.
it live today? It's live now. So Ricky and Sons is out today.
I already saw it. Looks good.
You can check it all out, like I said. But I've been meeting with various people in the industry. We started with Chad. You were my first guest, so thanks for helping me kick that one off.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was. It's good. Like I said, it's really about getting one-on-one with people in the industry. And we talked to Bob about his experience and where Router Bob came from, and we talked now with Ricky and Sons about their metal fab business. And we're really going through and kind of just telling their story of where they came from and what the CNC machine has done for them. So if you need some of that information. You need to, you just want to learn more about it. Like, it's a great place to go. Go make sure you check out our new YouTube segment on that. And then, like I said, make sure you follow us on all of our social media. We're still not on MySpace yet. We've been trying to find our password. Still lost.
I was going to leave it alone this week.
No.
Kyle, have you joined the new movement onto Threads yet? No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that.
No Threads account yet.
No, we're not going to.
Sorry, guys. But we are on
I don't know
Instagram.
what that is.
It's like Instagram's
Version
of Twitter
Yeah.
called Threads.
Zuckerberg
Well,
launched it to try to battle Elon.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's more typing, not pictures.
Mostly, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just like a Twitter knockoff.
Yeah. So apparently Elon and Zuckerberg are going to fight now.
I would pay to watch that.
God, I'd love that. I'd actually pay for the pay-per-view.
That'd be sweet.
Watch those two fight. Yeah, no. So like I said, follow us on social media. We got a lot of cool stuff coming out. We're doing Meet Staff. We have Dan's next, right, guys? We got Dan coming out in tech support. So
Dan the man.
Dan the man, he's going to be on our Meet the Staff episode next. And yeah, we got some really cool stuff coming. We got a new website that's in the design phases right now. So we're just about halfway done with that. So that should be launching here shortly. Pretty excited about the new ShopSabre.com. And yeah, we have a bunch of cool stuff coming. So like I said, if you got time, hopefully we'll see you in Las Vegas. Next week we'll be back with a new episode. And then unfortunately we're going to be off for another week because then we're going to be in Las Vegas showing off some of this awesome equipment. So
Can't wait.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, it should be a good time.
I might fly in for a night and visit.
You gonna come visit us?
Oh, maybe.
Why
Come
not?
on down.
You never know.
Show me the ropes.
No.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
I just want to do the zip line. Everybody says there's a zip line down the main stretch. and
There's
I'm
two.
all
There's
about
one.
That's
The
the
one
old-
at the one at Fremont Street I've done. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then
Be
there's
pretty
one
sick.
like between the hotels by the link.
That'd be pretty
So
sick.
down
Yeah.
at Fremont Street, it's fun.
And I guess we're gonna go check out the sphere thing.
That's cool, too.
That's right next to our hotel, actually.
Yeah,
I'll zip line with you if you want to zip line.
I want to.
We'll
Like,
zip line.
I absolutely would love to.
Yeah, we'll zip line. We'll go one night. The line will be long though. I'm gonna tell you that much right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
I won't.
Yeah, catch me if I fall, will you?
No.
You have to pick one of us.
You're not going to get my
who are
big
you
ass up
saving?
there.
Who are you saving?
Neither of you.
If I fall,
I'll
who are you
video.
saving?
I'm videoing. Videoing all the way to the ground.
Ouch.
I'll be like, are you okay?
Pick the guy that's 160 pounds because the 220 pounds is gonna hurt.
I can't believe you didn't choose to save me.
I'm not going to save anybody falling that far. I'll sidestep.
He's still
Gets out of
upset.
the way.
He's still upset you're taking Travis on the cruise and not him.
On the cruise. With that, I'm Brandon.
I'm Chad.
I'm Travis.
I'm Nick.
That's Jose. Thanks for talking shop with ShopSabre.